What's up and welcome to Party Invite, where we invite you to a gaming community of inclusiveness and diversity. Your party members today are Thomas Egan.
Pop.
Carlos Gomez.
Yeah.
Debbie Hill.
Come.
And I'm your party leader, Chris Mowry. This is our 10th episode, so we figured we'd talk about our plan for content and features moving forward. But first, let's talk about what we've been playing. Carlos, what you been getting into?
Yeah, I've been trying out some Switch stuff lately, the shorter things, so I can get through my backlog a lot faster. So I played through Abzu and Paratopic this week. Abzu is kind of an old game now, but it's just so good. You have this beautiful deep sea exploration. You can spend 10 hours exploring the deep seas, or you can spend the whole 2 hours it takes to actually complete the game. It's just minor puzzles and just super pretty visuals.
Chill vibes.
It's
basically
really
Journey,
stunning.
but underwater.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not difficult to control or to understand what you're needing to do, even though there's not really any kind of instruction. It gets sad a couple times, and it's just a fantastic time. I also played through Paratopic, and mind you, both of these games I got for less than $3 a piece on Switch sales. I just can't talk enough about the eShop deals, but Paratopic is technically about a 45-minute experience. Anybody that's listening that is a fan of David Lynch movies or the X-Files, you might really want to fucking get into Paratopic right now. It's technically replayable because there's some in-game achievements that you can get. It's very odd though. Gameplay, it's just some walking, some minor driving segments. And when I say driving segments, I mean it's all first person, 64 style graphics. And I was very tired when I started playing.
It looks like James. It looks like
GoldenEye.
Like GoldenEye, yeah.
GoldenEye,
Yeah, I was very tired when I started playing, and it was not the best move because the driving segments, you turn on the radio in the car and it's got babble. Like it's a mix between Animal Crossing speak and Simlish. It's very funny. Like you can understand kind of exactly. You can understand kind of what they're saying, and you hear a word every once in a while. But the driving segments are just you turning the wheel and messing with the radio. And you don't know how long they're going to last, but in this 45-minute game, I swear, 25 minutes of that shit was driving.
Oh my goodness.
And it was the sleepiest driving. Like, imagine you are trying to stave off sleep and you're driving. That was the exact experience I had in the game.
Awful.
But
so this is this one approved by the FDA as well?
you know what? It might be. It feels like a psychological experiment, honestly. But it is a fun thing that it didn't feel like any other game to me. And I've played a whole lot of weird and indie games, so I do recommend it, especially when you can always find it on sale. I'm pretty sure on Steam it's probably constantly between $2 and $5, and on Switch I got it stupid cheap. So yeah, I really recommend checking it out, especially if you are into something that can be taken care of in one playthrough.
Fun fact, the animal language in Animal Crossing is called Animalese.
Ha.
Aha. Who'd have thought?
Very good trivia.
Debbie, what have you been playing?
Well, since it came out a couple days ago, I have been playing Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game,
Whoop, whoop.
which, as you all have heard me brag about before, I've had, ever since it released on the PS3, so it wasn't like I was missing it or anything. But it's a lot of fun to dive back into it. The online experience leaves much to be desired on the Switch, at least, which is where I got it. I imagine for the PlayStation side of things, it's probably better, and on the Xbox side of things as well. I'm not sure if it came out for PC, but if it did, undoubtedly, it'd be really good.
I think it's on Game
but
Store, maybe? No, that's not right.
It could. I mean, it very well could be. I really didn't look into it beyond the Switch, but we do have the power of the internet, and I'm sure that all listeners who are curious can find the answer to that there. But it is the complete edition, so it comes with all the DLC characters. Although, in order to unlock knives, you have to sign up for the arbitrary online Ubisoft service,
Ubisoft
which you need in
Connect.
order to play online. I don't know which. It's you have to make a profile. It's not Uplay,
It's-
I don't think.
Yeah,
No,
it's
'cause you-
just the basic. It's not a subscription or anything. It's
Yeah, you just
the
make an account for
profile.
Ubisoft. Yeah.
Yeah, it connects.
Still lame.
So what it does though, and what's good about it is across all platforms now, everything is connected. So if I play the Division 2 on my PlayStation 4 and I open Ubisoft Connect, all the rewards and stuff I've earned in Division 2 on my PlayStation 4, all those Ubisoft points and all that kind of stuff is all there. So it's like just a way of kind of like, instead of having Uplay and something else, they just have one thing now that kind of grabs everything together.
I guess that's cool, but the way that they kind of sneakily force you to sign up for it instead of something that you opt into,
Right.
it rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah.
When you do
Especially
it
when
on Switch,
the online
it
you
feels a little
get is
different.
not even good.
Yeah.
But I guess it's nice that you get to play nice if you do that, which is cool. But I'm a Ramona player. You know, I need that hammer. Give me that big old mallet. Debbie Smash. Other than that, I've been playing Splatoon 2. As people who are playing the game are aware, there was a Splatfest last weekend. And it was the Mario 35th anniversary one, which you choose sides between which power-up you prefer, being the Super Mushroom or the Superstar. And of course, I was on Team Star, because I am one. And we lost. I'm so sad.
Oh,
But you know what? We won the popularity contest. And isn't that all what life is? Just one giant popularity contest.
Yeah.
I mean, even the presidency, it's a popularity contest.
Yeah.
We vote for the one. I mean, it doesn't work out the way that we want sometimes, but you know, it happens. It happens.
popular to somebody.
Yeah. I will
But
say,
yeah, that's all.
going back to Scott Pilgrim, it is available on PC on the Ubisoft store, on Ubisoft Plus or whatever their subscription service is, and on the Epic Games Store and Stadia. So it's kind of everywhere.
I believe on Microsoft as well. I think it's just not Steam, maybe.
I think so.
That would
Right.
be so
about it.
weird if Steam was the only place it wasn't available.
Well, if they're on Epic
That would
Games
be like
Store,
the
they're
first place
not
I checked.
on Steam usually.
Oh yeah, that's
or
fair. That's
they
fair.
like have a certain exclusivity.
It's like a timed exclusive sort of thing. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I've almost rebought a couple games because I didn't realize I had them on other service. It's like,
That's how it's been with me and like the VR games that I get for my Oculus, because it'll be like on the Oculus store and I won't realize it's on Steam, but I would much rather have it on Steam anyway. And then I'll go ahead and buy it. Like I think one of the cases for that was Twisted Arrow. I didn't realize that was on Steam or on Oculus, but I bought it for Steam, and that was one I actually wanted for Oculus, and I was like, oh, so
Whoop.
why do people do this? Just why?
Thomas, both you and I have been playing a little Hitman, but you've been playing Hitman 1. I've been playing Hitman 2. Let's talk a little Hitman in our preparation for getting into Hitman 3 over this next week.
So I've been playing Hitman 1. I've owned that game for a long time, but I definitely haven't completed it. I haven't even beaten all the levels, but so much of that game is beating the levels and then ranking up your mastery, which you get just as you explore and do cool things. And then when you level up your mastery, you unlock new starting locations. So the first time you play in a level, you'll be outside of whatever this complex is, and you've got to find a way in, and then you've got to look around and overhear like opportunities, and you're like, oh, if I dress up as the cameraman, I could get into this other high security place. But as you level up your mastery, because you are an assassin, you can start the level and you're automatically in a disguise inside some place that's useful in the map. So in the very first level of Hitman 1, you are at a fashion show that's in this giant mansion in Paris. And first time you ever start, you're just out front and you don't know anything. And you explore and you overhear stuff. There are tons of outfits that you can get from knocking people out or finding them hidden all over. But the next time you load up, you could be a cook in the kitchen. You could be a servant in the wine cellar. You could be a security guard. You could be a whole bunch of things. And so much of that game is discovering all of the hidden things, the different ways that you can complete your tasks. The first time you go through, you might just use your gun and shoot the guy. But the next time you're going to realize, oh, when he goes out here to give this speech, I can drop the lights down from the ceiling and no one will even know it was me. And you could just waltz out. Like, nobody's upset. They're alarmed, but they're not looking for you. So there's so much content in that game. So Hitman 3 came out yesterday, as of recording.
Yesterday,
And here I am. I'm trying to like rush through Hitman 1 to then go play Hitman 2 in preparation for Hitman 3. I'm never gonna. If I do that, I'm not gonna play Hitman 3 for 2 more weeks. Even if I.
What I would suggest is what I would suggest is to not go back into that level again. Like, get through the level and complete your contracts, and then move on.
That's what I'm doing. It just still takes me. I take a long time to do anything. So all the time I spend looking around, exploring, and overhearing conversations and stuff. Like, I'm getting a lot out of the level. I'm trying not to just beeline it, but I am kind of trying to go fast. So yeah, I have no intent of jumping back into those levels once I've beaten them. And in fact, when I downloaded Hitman 3, Chris, we talked before the show, you're able to import Hitman 1 and 2. Save files from 2 will transfer over, but save files from 1 will not, which means the little progress I had made, honestly, the whole process, not good. Now that it's done, it's done.
You're just playing Hitman 1 for just story purposes then, right? Just to gain knowledge, because because you want to. Right, okay.
Yeah.
And the story...
But that's so silly.
The story doesn't matter so much that, like, if tomorrow I just picked up Hitman 3 and just started from the beginning, I would probably like the game the exact same amount as if I did it the way I'm doing. Like, the way I'm doing it isn't going to make 3 better. It's just that I would like to see that progression. But I'm realizing if I want to play 3 and be in the zeitgeist while everyone else is playing it, I think I just need to play it. At least on stream. And then off stream, I'll do it on my own time.
I would say...
There's a lot to think.
Yes, there's a lot. I will say that the whole process of trying to import all these things, I've owned Hitman 1 for a long time. I beat it when it came out a while back, beat the story at least. And then, like you said, none of that stuff transfers over, which is fine. I just wanted a refresher on what the story is. So after several hours of downloading and all of this nonsense just to import these things to 3, which could have been as easy, because they try to make it easy. They go, go download the legacy pack, but you have to do it in the subsequent...
Of course, the pack.
Right, which is fine. Like, if it was just in Hitman 3 and it's like, just download the legacy pack, it'll unlock all that stuff for you, you'll be good, because you already own those games, that'd be great. But what it does is, it's like, no, you need to download Hitman 2 and install all of those missions. Now, the first 2 games... At least I'm pretty sure it's the first 2 were all released in chunks, like episodically. So all of those download separately. So it takes a long time.
And they're not small downloads.
No, they're not. They're big levels. So then what you have to do is you have to go into Hitman 2, and then when you're in there, it's like, download the legacy pack, and I click it, and it's like, oh, you need to actually go into Hitman 1 and download the legacy pack. I'm like, this is too much. Like, this is
and then
silly.
download the Ubisoft Connect to access it.
To not actually connect anything.
It took me 2.5 hours to do it.
Yeah.
Two nights ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday? I don't know. Time's funny. Yesterday, I guess.
It took a while.
And I just wanted to play. And then for import, and then after all of that, because I fortunately still had 1 downloaded. I went in and pressed the button, and it didn't work, which I realized was because my download queue was backed up because my hard drive was full. But I didn't realize.
Yeah.
So even though the thing I have to download is only 2 measly megabytes, it was queued up behind all the levels from Hitman 2 that I was trying to download.
Yep.
So eventually I cancel those, I get the download, but then it's like, hey, you have to download all of 60 gigs of Hitman 2 just so you can go in and press a button to download the other 2 megabyte download. And I'm like, why is this not just a button?
It should just be all together in one thing. Like, it was just too much.
My save file didn't even transfer over. I mean, I only had 2 levels worth of progress, but I had 2 levels worth of progress.
When you open Hitman 3, it says if you don't install Hitman 2 now and you start Hitman 3 and then you import Hitman 2 later, it'll overwrite your stuff on Hitman 3. So it's basically like you have to get the stuff imported first before you start this.
That's a major no-no.
It just took too long and was kind of silly. But but I had to start a Hitman 2 because I had already beaten 1 and I just wanted to see. So what the game does a good job of when you finally get it all into one thing and you delete the other 2, is you can just watch the cutscenes and like the beginning briefings to each mission from 1 and be like, I got it. And that got me so hyped up to play 2. I was like so excited.
We talk about how freaking cool those spy, like, all right, here are your targets, and here's how they're about to have a coup, and they're gonna do this.
Yeah, the
And
briefings
I
are very
love
cool.
That spy aesthetic. God, I just want a ton of little bite-sized episodes of that forever. Not even a video game.
The
Just
briefing,
give me that show.
yeah, the briefings are very, very good. And like I said, they got me like all the cutscenes and cinematics from 1 got me very hyped to play 2. Now, something that I remember somebody talking about, maybe it was on Giant Bomb or somewhere. They said, oh yeah, the second Hitman had a lower budget than the first one. So all those beautiful cinematic cutscenes that you see in 1 do not exist in 2. They are like almost like storyboarded out, which
Dude,
there's
I remember 2 like almost didn't get released, right? It was like IOI, I forget what IO stands for, but IO Interactive, the developer, like was getting shuttered, and then enough fans were like, "Hey, we loved that game. Can you please make the second one?"
well,
like,
they were getting shut out by the publisher WB,
That's
and
it happened.
and they cut their budget, and so the cinematics that I would have loved in 2 are just a little flat. Like the acting is still good, like the voice actor for Agent 47 and your handler are still great, and all the other characters are still the same. They just didn't have the budget to make these gorgeous cinematics like they did in the first one. But the story's still good. Something else that I experienced, something that Hitman 3 touts, is that it has PlayStation VR compatibility for all 3 games. So you can play all 3 games in PlayStation VR.
Interesting.
If you have a base PlayStation, do not do that. Ever.
Oh,
It is
you
so
kill it?
bad. It
Yeah.
is so terrible. And I wish more review sites that I watched reviews for. There were several of them that were talking about the PlayStation VR one especially. Did not say, hey, I'm playing on a PlayStation 4 Pro, or I played the PlayStation 4 version on my PS5 and it worked great. They didn't say that. They just said, hey, this all works good and everything works good. Playing it on a base PS4 was awful, and I do not recommend it to anyone. It was very bad. What'll happen is, like, the first time you get thrown into a mission, the first one and 2 is like a race in Miami, like a car race, like an F1 type, but like souped up cars. It's crazy. It's like crazy ass looking Ferrari type things flying around the track very, very fast. But because the base PlayStation cannot handle, or at least the PlayStation VR cannot handle what Hitman does, anytime, like, it's not motion controls, it's like you use a controller, but anytime you turn your body with the stick, like, people pop in, like, in waves. Like, so, like, you won't see their upper half of their body, and all of a sudden it'll appear. And that happens every single time you turn. Every single time. So, it
Well,
was...
they have to warp into the simulation. They're just gonna warp, and then
Yeah, it immediately becomes like, this is unplayable. Like, you can't play Hitman
Immersion,
like this.
yes.
now entering full immersion.
Yeah, I'm sure
But
it,
every second of the game.
yeah, I'm sure
Yeah.
it probably runs better on PlayStation 4 Pro, or maybe even PS5, playing the PlayStation 4 version, because that's the only way you can play the VR. You can't play it on the PS5 version.
Wait, say that again?
So the PlayStation 5 version of the game, like the upgraded one, cannot play VR, PlayStation VR. It downloads because PlayStation 5 is not technically VR compatible, but PlayStation 4 games
Really?
that play, yes. So that PlayStation 4 games that play on PlayStation 5 are, though. So basically, when you download it on your PS5, it downloads PlayStation the Hitman 3 PlayStation 5 version and the Hitman 3 PlayStation 4 version,
Huh.
which is a whole problem
Yeah,
that PlayStation's having with all this shit. But
Yeah, when I
Welcome to the future.
I
Yeah.
will say when I bought the game, it was nice that it said like, hey, do you want to download the PS5 or the PS4 version? Like, if I'm on my PS5, there's no reason I would want to download the PS4 version, except for what you just told me.
VR.
But,
But it's
when
not
you
good.
when you finally get to the store, because I remember when I first booted up Hitman 3, I'm looking at the instructions on my phone of how to import the levels. And it's like, okay, just get into the menu and go to the store. And I'm like, okay. So I booted up the game, and the game's like, okay, your only option is to start the mission. I'm like, I don't want to start. I don't
It's
want
like
to see
tutorial. It goes tutorial or yeah. The way the game starts
I was
off
like,
says
just let me
tutorial
go.
or start the campaign. I just click tutorial and I closed the game out and then opened it back up again, and the full menu opened. And I don't know why it did that on like the first thing. It just doesn't make any sense, especially
I
when
jumped into
you've.
the campaign and saw a cool cutscene, and that was cool. But it was just like when I was already upset that everything wasn't easier than I wanted it to be.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that I had to like watch that when I didn't want to, like I wanted to watch it later.
Yeah.
Just to get to any of the menus, like to get to the part where I install anything, So anyway, when I did get to the store, I'm in there and it was just like, hey, do you want to download this game? And I'm like, wait, you mean literally the game I'm playing? What are you even talking about? And so I didn't realize it. It clicked it. And so about 40 gigs later, I realized that I was also downloading the PS4 version of Hitman 3. That's while I also had the original Hitman 1 downloaded and Hitman 2, which meant I had two versions of all three games downloaded at the same time. And
it took up all your storage.
It's a mess.
Dude,
Yeah.
Apex just to get it on my system.
Yeah, I had to delete stuff from mine too. Luckily, like once you have everything imported into 3, you can just delete the other 2 and you don't have to worry about it. But the fact that you have to jump through all these hoops to get there is like, what is going on?
If I cared a lot less about this game, I would have just quit. I would have played Hitman 3, but I would have just not even imported everything. But the problem is that if you don't do it immediately and you try to import later, it erases everything.
Erases your save.
It doesn't apply to me because I don't have a save to overwrite, but not good.
No.
Anyway, Hitman, the game itself,
is great.
Pretty sweet.
It's so good.
It's great. That game rocks. It's just battle process.
Yeah, I love the. It's not unintentional humor, but it's very intentional humor that happens in that game. Just random things you stumble upon. Like I don't want to spoil anything for you on Hitman 2, Thomas, but the first couple missions I kind of just like I was like, I got this. Like I just kept stumbling upon things, and then I'd be like, all right, reload from the beginning, go back in. I'm just trying to get the highest score I possibly can, right? So I would just be like, okay, I kind of figured out how this kind of works. Now let me restart and beeline it to that. Go do this, that. But there is a mission in Hitman 2 in Colombia that has so much just ridiculous.
Is there, like grass everywhere?
Well, like the whole thing is like you're taking out like the top 3 members of a cartel. Like you have like the leader, you have the face, like the PR person who like kind of covers everything up. Miss Lady, I can't remember what her name is, and then like the guy who like makes the amazing cocaine. So there you have to take.
He has a name.
Well,
I like it. The only
cocaine guy.
you're like nameless guy, this woman, but I can't remember her name, and nameless guy.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they have names, and they definitely do. I just don't remember them because I was in there for so
He's
long.
the crack man.
That's right.
Yeah, it was. There was so much comedy in the like little side things that you could get into, specifically on that level. That
I really appreciate that. There are so many things you can stumble into that you're like, oh, this is like. Some things you stumble on, and the game will be like, "Hey, this is an opportunity. Do you want to track this?" And we'll basically point you where you need to go, and then cool, fun stuff is going to happen. You're going to have to pay attention, but we're going to show you, where to go. And then there's other stuff that you'll just overhear. That's not an opportunity. It's just like funny dialogue. Man, some of that stuff is great. Like it's really funny.
Yeah,
They just pull up a dialogue box that's like, "Record now, please."
Yeah.
This is gold.
I'm really enjoying that. There's just so much. Like I said, I'm probably gonna skip ahead to Hitman 3 at this point, just because I want to be playing it while other people are playing it. But I fully intend to go back through these levels and really just beat the hell out of them, because there is so much stuff. Like once it starts giving you more tools, you recognize how much more you can do. It's just such a satisfying loop that they've got, but the loop can take so many forms, and you can mix and match them and do all this stuff. And so even once I dive into 3, even after I beat all 3 games, I intend to spend a lot more time with the whole trilogy.
Yeah, I would suggest watching those cutscenes and at least all the briefings, so you get the story bits out of it. Because from what I understand, Hitman 2 ends on a really good cliffhanger. So that's part of the reason I'm going back through Hitman 2. And honestly,
have you watched the opening campaign cinematic for 3?
No.
Yeah, things seem pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, it's a pretty cool opening.
Yeah,
even though I wish I had a choice to watch it. The whole time I'm just like, man, where's my popcorn? Like, this is awesome spy movie stuff.
Yeah, Hitman 1's watching all those, especially the last one, made me just be like, all right, let's go. I'm ready to fucking assassinate some motherfuckers. So yeah, that game's a lot of fun. I'm excited to get into 3. I'm already halfway through 2. I mean, they're only 6 missions long. It's not that long. You just really, like, that Columbia mission took me a while. It took me most of last night and part of today to get through. But I'm already halfway through. I only have 3 more missions left in 2, and then I'll be on to Hitman 3.
Now, does that mechanic that Thomas was talking about earlier, where if you start the level over, you're just like already in there in disguise, does that carry over to 2 as well?
So what that is after you have beaten the mission once on any of them, you'll unlock things based off of how well you did. You like gain experience. I'm like level 7 right now. You have like an experience bar that fills up and keeps giving you more and more things, especially on certain missions. There's like a mastery for those. And by how well you do in them, certain things will unlock. Like you'll get stash spots where you can be like, hey, I want to stash a shotgun in that trash can. And when you load back up, you can be in a different starting area, and you have that shotgun placed in there, so you can just grab that and just start blowing people away. Well, however you want to do it. And there's like challenges. There's challenges and all sorts of
level, stuff. So yeah, the character level is persistent throughout the whole game, and it says, hey, you unlocked an upgraded silenced pistol. It's pretty cool. Or hey, you unlocked there's a sedative that I'm going to unlock soon that I have to re-unlock because I don't have my progress. But I think the only way I can get it is by leveling up my dude across any of the levels.
Right.
But then when I go into
1, 2, and 3,
Chris said, you can smuggle an item, and you can pick the location that the item will be. Depending on that, it's a briefcase that you can put a gun in. So like if you go into a part of an area where they have to frisk you to make sure you don't have any weapons on you, if you're carrying the briefcase, you can actually take that weapon sneakily into the like trespassing zone.
That's really cool. It's like your own personal little game mod.
Yeah.
So
you
can use as much of that or as little as you want. And then there are these hard challenges, which are basically do really well, like do all of these things, do all these really difficult things, but do it in the suit, like the
signature,
signature Agent 47 suit, and never change out of it. And it's like a whole list of super hard challenges
Which
that
is
that
incredibly
I
hard.
look at that, and I'm like, how in the world could you possibly get to some of these places, let alone not get captured, and get the kill?
Yeah.
But that's kind of the deal, is that as you play, you level up this mastery bar, but also you will get intimate knowledge of these maps. And so you will be able to do that stuff as you learn it.
Like if I went into Colombia right now, the mission I just spent like a day on, I could knock that thing out in probably less than 30 minutes. Depending on how long I have to wait for things to happen, because certain things trigger at certain times. Like after you have, like, there was something in the last one where in Colombia where there was like band members that were supposed to play for this like statue unveiling, and they got wasted the night before. So you had to go around and find them and wake them up, and then also like dress up as one and like go on, and that would trigger the thing, that story thing to start.
Ceremony.
Yeah, that ceremony to start by getting all those people. Like, but I could have gone and done a bunch of other things and then saved that for last. But yeah, and then there was like unique ways that all works together.
Because there is like a chain of sequences that can happen in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Some things will only happen if you trigger them. Other things will happen if you do nothing. And sometimes the sequence and the way that they play out will change based on little decisions that you make.
Yep.
Like
for instance, that specific thing, I had already killed the guy that the statue was for, and he was supposed to be at the unveiling, but also the other lady was supposed to be there for the unveiling. So I was like, oh well, I've already taken him out. She'll do it, and I'll take her out. But because I had already taken him out, he never showed to the unveiling. So she's like, I'm not sure where he's at. Looks like we're gonna have to put a hold on this, guys, and we'll figure out what's going on. So basically, it like locked me out of that way to take her out. So then I was like, fuck. Now I have to like search around the rest of the map to try to find a way to get to her.
Right, and because like if you get caught in a disguise, like if you get away, people might be suspicious of you, but you're not compromised. If people realize you are a bad guy and you're wearing a certain outfit, that outfit is now compromised. It doesn't mean that people will automatically recognize you like on sight totally, but pretty much you can't use that disguise for the rest of that run, more or less.
Right.
So there are tons of disguises, but if you really had your heart set on one thing and you got busted, then you got to find a new thing because so much of that game is like reacting to unexpected circumstances.
Yeah.
That is to say, if you are enjoying that content, there's going to be more Hitman next week, so don't worry about it. Just come back next week and we got plenty more.
Absolutely.
Well, I don't know about all that hard challenge stuff because I want to go in there. I want to start in the location, do my moon disguise pin, turn me into a sexy news reporter, and then kill the dude. Like, you know, and just,
well, you got to do all the other stuff first in order to get that. But Thomas,
you'll get it.
If you want to tell the people again about what we're doing for Hitman 3, go ahead. I feel like that'd be a good time to do it.
So if you are like us and you're either playing 1 and 2 or you just bought 3 and you're playing through that, if you'd like to join the community and share clips, we're sharing clips on our Facebook and our Discord and our Twitter. If you want to use the handle hashtag HitmanParty, then that's the way we're going to organize all that stuff. If you didn't know, Facebook recently introduced topics and groups. Basically, if you use that hashtag, it's going to be a lot easier to connect with other people that are doing the same thing. So we want to see your dumb clips, your funny clips, your impressive clips. But I just want to share this experience while everyone's discovering it all at the same time. So keep an eye on our social media, and if you want to know more about that, you know where to find it.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Send us your bops and your flops.
I took a clip from yesterday's stream. So it was a Hitman 1 level, and I was looking out on a river, and there were boats going by. And every single boat was super glitched, like super glitched. It was pretty funny.
I will say that I know I'm running a base PS4, but I'm getting crazy fucking pop-in on just Hitman 2 levels. Like, this game's 4 years old, and I'm getting texture pop-ins. So, hey, Cyberpunk wasn't that bad, y'all. Okay, anyway, let's take a break. Thomas, how about this party topic today?
Party topic. So today I want to get to know you guys a little. Actually, I want our audience to get to know us because we have some features lined up, but I specifically want to talk about one that really I've been working on already on my personal Twitch channel, but I want to expand.
Hold on. Let's start over. So the party topic isn't this one topic. It's about all. So there's there's a bit here. This is episode 10. We're nearly 3 months of an expansion. So it's about all of the stuff.
You're right.
So don't just jump into.
My bad. I still had my community spotlight open.
Yeah.
Here we go.
How about this party topic, Thomas?
What's up, and welcome to Party Invite, where we invite. No. Okay.
That's not it. That's not it.
3 for real. I'll do this.
How about this party topic, Thomas?
All right. So this is our episode 10, and we're nearly 3 months into this little experiment we've been working on. We've all known each other and been in the game sphere for a while, but Party Invite itself is coming up on 3 months old. So we wanted to talk a little bit about what people can expect from us, the kind of content that we've been mulling over that we're really excited to produce. So let's see. Some of the stuff, of course, some stuff we're not going to be able to talk about on camera.
Mm-hmm.
Not yet, anyway. We've got some secrets and surprises.
Ooh.
But let's see. So there are a bunch of things we want to talk about up front. I want to say that there is going to be some Patreon talk. And while some of that is a little elusive right now, we're really excited for some special content for people who sign up for that. And there are a bunch of perks, but I will talk about that at the end of the show. So
Carlos will talk about that at the end of the show.
That's right.
Something like that, yeah.
Somebody gonna. I'm just saying.
So the first feature I want to talk about is something I've been working on for a little bit on my personal Twitch channel. It's something I'd like to start putting on weekends onto the Party Invite channel as a feature. So this is Party of One, our brunch special. So essentially what I've been doing is playing some indie games, some real good-looking but very vibey, very chill indie games on Saturdays and Sunday mornings. So the idea is I wake up, I eat some breakfast, I drink some coffee, and I pop on stream and play one of these games. So I've been playing The Witness. I've really been enjoying that. I've pretty much almost exclusively been playing it on Saturdays and Sunday mornings. And when we talked about this feature, Chris, I liked that you threw out the idea. It's kind of like a Saturday morning cartoons thing, right? I kind of feel like this is a comfort food sort of feature. So this will be a solo stream from whoever is streaming that morning. But The Witness is kind of my seed for this feature, right? It's something that people don't have to know a whole lot to look at it and see what it is, and we can enjoy the morning. We can enjoy the weekend morning together. So to that end, I've been thinking about some games that I would like to play or that I would like to see played on these weekend mornings. Something just relaxing. It's just one of us. And some of these games I know that I want to play, but some of these games I know that you guys might want to play. And maybe we see that on this feature. Maybe we see one of you guys play that somewhere down the line. Maybe not even on a weekend. But I wanted to go through this list because I want the audience to get to know you guys a little bit more and see kind of why you approach certain games or don't approach others. So if The Witness is the seed that I've been thinking of for this feature, some of the other games, I can hear my cat. Oh, she's singing over here. Some of the other games I have on deck, the first one I have written is Cardo. Cardo is a game I had never even heard of until we had Reb Valentine on the show, and that just sounds great. That's a game she described as, you explore using a map, but the world around you actually builds while you're rearranging this map. Mm-hmm. That sounds like comfort food to me. And as I thought of The Witness, as I thought of Cardo, Carlos, you had mentioned Tacoma. That's a game that I've had on my PlayStation for a long time. Maybe I bought it on sale. I have no idea, but I've got it. But all I know is that people have recommended it. I barely even know what it is. Could you tell me some more about it?
Yeah, it's a first-person experience. It's really character-driven. You are set in this space station, and you're supposed to find out what went wrong there. And it's really not. It's not like something like Alien Isolation or anything horrific. It's just an emergency happened at a space station. You are meant to scan different things in a lot of different ways using all this sci-fi tech to recreate dialogue that the characters had that was tracked by cameras and all this like Fitbit type technology that the characters have. It's really interesting. It's a little bit of detective work and a lot of really great written dialogue. You even peruse like web browsers of the different characters to find out more about them, find out the depths of not only what happened, but why certain characters did what they did when this emergency situation went down. It's super cool, super chill, and a really pretty short experience that I definitely think it would be a really good fit for the bite-sized
Ooh.
feel of the brunch special.
And it's
This
from
says
it's
a-
from Fulbright Company, which did Gone Home. And they have
Okay.
another.
Yeah,
have
they
a-
definitely know how to do those kind of games.
Yeah, and they have another
Okay.
game coming out soon that we just saw at Game Awards. I think I don't remember what it was though.
Yeah, I remember it being like from the creators of Gone Home.
Yeah.
Well, cool. This howlongtobeat.com, which is a website I've been using a lot lately to figure out how long I can reasonably expect to spend with a game. This says a completionist run is 3.5 hours.
Oh, that's not
main
bad at
story is
all.
2.5. Yeah, so
Yeah, it's short.
this could be one nice long Sunday morning. Well,
Yeah.
cool. I like that. I forgot about Gone Home. That was a game that was on a lot of people's top 10 lists back in 2014? Some year around there.
Yeah, when just to talk about Gone Home really quick, when I had played that game, it was a while after 2014. So like the big like reveal of it wasn't as like, oh wow, that's different and crazy. But
Was it because you knew it was going to happen, or because culturally it didn't hit the same way?
culture didn't hit the same way 2 years later, or 3 years, or however long it was when it was finally on PS Plus. But yeah, it's a cool little thing.
I think I said this on a recent podcast, but when I played Bastion for the first time, it was in 2016, and that game came out 3 or 4 years before that.
Mm-hmm.
That was the opposite, where I wasn't expecting the impact of that game to resonate with me at all, because I didn't come to that game for the story. I came there for cool visuals and a dope soundtrack. So I was really surprised that it landed. But that to not really spoil it, that was a game that was, it could not possibly have been more relevant to the political climate of 2016.
Yeah.
And I did not see that coming, but it was really good. Well, cool. So Tacoma and Gone Home are both games I'm interested in. How long is Gone Home? That's a short experience too, right?
It's like you can beat it way faster than that, but it's like 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, maybe.
Okay. Let's see. Carlos, the way you described Tacoma about basically being a detective looking at things that happened, that sounds like the space version of Return of the Obra Dinn, which is a nautical murder mystery with cool looking 3D cell shading, which I really like. That game, I can't remember which. I bought it somewhere. I think I bought it on my Switch. I don't know. I own it somewhere, and I'm excited to play that. I'm pretty sure that's a fairly short experience as well. These are all just games that
Chris.
It's not as short as you think it is. It's a lot more puzzle solving than like a Tacoma. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's. I mean, you would have to check on that website you were just talking about, but I would say probably 10 hours, maybe a little more.
Okay. This
Also,
says
what a problem to
completion is
have.
10 hours.
Like, I
Yeah.
can't remember which on all of my multitudes of expensive consoles that I have, which game I bought this on.
Yeah. It is a funny position to be in, because I see something on sale and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's an incredible deal. And then I'll remember, oh yeah, I got that exact same incredible deal 6 months ago
Right.
over there. So I got to keep track of my stuff. But yeah, that says main story is 8 hours long. What I like about these is, I've talked about it, that my game preferences over the past, decade have really changed a lot. And even in the past year or two, especially in COVID, my preferences for the types of podcasts I listen to, the types of shows I watch, the types of games I enjoy are a lot different than they were 2 years ago. I just can't find myself loving immersive, long experiences like I used to. I mean, Hitman is awesome because there's so much depth hidden in that gym, and as much time, like as much as you give, is what you're gonna get. But if you want, you can only play, for 15 to 45 minutes in a run. And I really love that. The idea of going into a Fallout 4 or a Skyrim now is almost daunting to me. Like, I don't even want to. I'm happy to watch somebody do that, but that's just not where I am right now.
Yeah.
And same with watching people stream games. This is also the kind of stuff that I would like to watch. So to that end, anytime, like I'm excited to watch you guys play stuff that I haven't seen.
Some
Just because-
smaller stuff.
Yeah,
Well,
because
looking at this list here, Invisible Ink is one of the games that I've always wanted to try. It's basically, from what I understand, Carmen Sandiego, the game. Like you go in and you're very stealthy, very decision oriented. But it's really weird because it's like a survival almost.
No, it's
don't
like stealth XCOM,
Okay. So
and you're like an
when-
agency
okay.
that is doing stealthy missions. But it's not like XCOM where like once you get seen you're good. It's like once you get seen in Invisible, it's not great. You get I think it's
So
I
it's
mean, it's-
basically it's like TPS Monaco, basically then.
Sure.
So the reason I have this game on this list is in the style we've discussed off stream that we want to take a look at some games that we may have missed along the way, and most of these games have come out, more than a couple years ago. So certainly we're no strangers to older games, but I'm looking through Giant Bomb's games of the year from years past, and so I stumbled upon Austin Walker's list. If you're not familiar with Austin Walker, you should follow him on Twitter. I like him for a whole bunch of reasons. He's very smart and thoughtful. Back when he was with Giant Bomb, he put Invisible Ink on this list, and I don't know if I even realized this game existed until I saw this list. But the notes that he has written here, he says this game is a roguelike that pulls from Faster Than Light, Dark Souls, XCOM, and Netrunner, and boy howdy, that is a list of games.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got a pedigree. The
This game's
developer
made by
is amazing.
Clay or Klee?
Yeah.
What I always
Yeah, it's Clay Entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
Man.
wait, it's
Mark of the
Clay.
Ninja,
I didn't
Don't
realize
Starve.
that.
Grifflands.
They
Okay.
Don't Starve,
Yeah.
Grifflands, yeah.
Mark of the Ninja. Hello.
Big
Which
stuff.
is like the best game in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
They also
this
did
checks all
Shank.
the boxes.
Yes, they did
Shank?
Shank.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a roguelike? It sounds like a stabby roguelike.
It is not.
No, it's like an arcade, Metroid-y platformer
It's like
type
it's
situation.
like Melee. It's like Melee Contra.
Yeah. Yes.
Uh,
That's better.
Well, Debbie, I want to
Version
watch you
for
play Invisible Ink then, because I'm very interested in this game, but that doesn't
And
mean I
I
have...
love Clay. I didn't realize that they made that.
Yeah.
Yeah. As I'm playing their stuff, they're becoming one of my more favorite studios.
For sure.
They're
Mark of the
great.
Ninja is one of my favorite games to play. It's basically 2D Tenchu. If you've never it's very stealth.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Like Ninja Metal Gear Solid. Classic.
Nice.
So like Raiden, except what was a Metal Gear Raiden? No, what was that game wasn't called Metal Gear Raiden, was it? The one where you
Revengeance?
It's called Metal Gear Rising.
Rising, that's right.
Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It had
God.
another one. Yeah. Another R.
You can't forget every single word.
Yeah.
You gotta say the whole thing, like a pimp named Slickback. You say the whole thing.
Like, yeah, it can't be just Dragon Quest 11. What is it? It's Dragon
Nope.
Quest 11,
Echoes of
an elusive age. Ultra
How about
S.
near replicant version 1.428?
Oh no, we're not gonna talk about
That's
that. We don't have
different.
the
Pretty
time.
sure that's like 12 numbers at least.
Dude,
Yeah.
and the host of the Game
Jesus.
Awards actually read all of them. Good for her.
Way to be.
And
Thomas.
she did it looking good in that dress too.
So let's let's dial this back here.
Yeah.
A game that I'm very interested in, but Carlos, I see your name on here, is Hypnospace Outlaw.
Yeah.
So,
That
you know what I didn't read is that you wrote it's unwatchable on a screen.
Yeah.
I'm not sorry. I can't say that I'm sorry about that. Yeah, it's a game that is very specific to its niche. If you want to stream it, by all means, I would not watch it. It's like streaming you playing around in your web browser,
Yeah.
Yeah.
except it's also the 90s.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's good writing, but you're literally just paging through browser tabs for the
Yeah.
entirety of it. I put an hour into the game because it was on Game Pass, and I just it's. I play a lot of visual novels, and it's still not for me.
Well, yeah, I mean, exactly what you just described. Everything I've seen from it, it's just like, oh, this guy has like 3 tabs of Netscape open.
That's it. That's the
I
game.
mean, knowing your like history on Twitter, Carlos, that's probably
Hey,
a
now.
safe bet.
Hey. Something I will say, Thomas, if you find The Witness to be a little too long for this, even though it's kind of what birthed it, I will say Call of the Sea is much shorter and it's like a cohesive story that I think is only like 3 or 4 hours long, and it's very
Yeah, I
similar
think,
to The Witness.
I think 6 hours is like the max that you can put into it, and it's
Yeah.
gorgeous. It looks like the island that they went into for Up, or they dreamed about in Up.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
freaking crazy beautiful.
Yeah.
See, I thought Call of the Sea was a different game when I saw it on this list. What is that game that's basically like 2D Subnautica? It's got like a Japanese title.
Shinsekai.
That one. But like the subtitle is like Call of the Sea or something like that. So that's what I thought it
Into
was.
Depths. Yeah.
That. Okay. Well.
What is
Anyway,
that game?
that's what I
Oh
thought.
no, you're talking about the GameStop game.
No, I'm
that
talking
one.
about Shinsekai. Wait, am I? No, I
Yeah,
was talking about Shinsekai.
yeah.
Hold on,
But
we
yeah,
have the internet.
it's one of those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Into the Deep,
Call of the Deep, I think.
Call of the Deep, or something.
Into the
One of
Depths.
those two.
It's Into
Oh,
the
God.
Depths. Yeah.
Nailed it.
Okay, y'all, the game is Shinsekai Into the Depths. That's the game. I have it on Google. It's right there.
We were thinking of the one
But-
that was sold at GameStop, that was published by GameStop. But I can't-
Published by GameStop?
I'm pretty sure that
Yeah.
one is the one that was published by GameStop.
It's a throwback. No, Shinsekai is Capcom straight up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So let's see. So I'm interested in that, and
Song of the Deep.
I have
It's
no
by
idea.
Insomniac Games.
Song of the Deep. There we
It was
go.
published by
Fuck,
GameStop.
Yes.
Oh,
Thank
Song
you.
of
Okay.
the Deep is the okay.
Yes.
See,
song.
We
this
got
is
there.
Xbox
Word
Series
association.
One X, SFX, like Alta Vista, Alpha, Omega, all over again. Like,
Yeah.
Achievement unlocked right there. Good job.
So we've got a couple more on here. I see Wheels of Aurelia, which I also saw on Austin Walker's list. It looks like a road trip visual novel, and that sounds pretty cool. That sounds like a brunch kind of video game, like right there. I've talked to you guys. At some point, I need to play Pyre because I didn't
Absolutely.
give that game a fair shake, and I think that's one of my favorite video game soundtracks of all time.
I was about to say it has really good music.
Man, it has such good music, and it has a lot of it,
Mhm.
and extra versions of it. Yeah, so I'm excited for that. But in the vein of visual novels, I saw that one, and I really like the road trip vibe. I don't think I've ever played a game that had like a road trip segment where I wasn't like, oh yeah. So I want to check that out. I don't know who makes it. I don't know how long it is, but the description I saw sounds pretty cool, and I'm trying to get into visual novels. Her story, if I remember correctly, her story is a full motion video indie game that's like pretty weird from my understanding. Is it going to be good to stream? No idea. But I know it's on my list to play. This is a question of, do I actually want to play it for the stream?
Well, it won some awards. I would imagine it would make a good watch.
Yeah, it's all about the decisions that you make while choosing tapes to fulfill the story. So I'm sure the community might be interested in letting us know if they want to see some of that.
Especially after the Miss Universe that they pulled with the awards that they won that year.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Well, like they had misannounced a winner for her story.
Oh, Harvey.
Yeah, Steve Harvey, like with the whole
Steve Harvey.
yeah.
What a faux pas.
But the same thing happened to her story too. They were like, "Oh, we actually meant that her story won this award. Can you
Oh.
like?"
I remember that. Oh gosh, what a cringe. It hurts to see that.
It really does.
Yeah, not
this
good.
may-
That alone, I
for-
think, would make it worth a play.
Yeah. So I got my eye on that. Undertale. Undertale is a game that I didn't understand when I first played. Has multiple endings. It has multiple endings, but the game does not tell you that you're making decisions while you're making decisions. The first time I played, I got what is considered the neutral ending because it's mixed. I'm not going to tell you what determines those endings in case you don't want to be spoiled on that. But the first time I played it was the mixed ending. The second time I played it was the perfect, very huggy. I felt full. My heart was full at the end of that second run. The third run that I have yet to play that I've been avoiding, but I have to see it through because I love Undertale, is the mean ending. It's the worst ending, but it's also the one where I actually get to see the the famous Megalovania song. I've beaten that game twice and never seen Megalovania, which is like the ultra famous song from that game. So, man, I'm excited to play that, but also my heart hurts just thinking about it. So that will be a thing that I play in 2 separate runs. I think it's going to take about 6 hours to do that. Oh, but I think
3
the
of
only
that
way
is just you just lamenting and anguishing over being mean.
it's the camera looking at me on the ground in the fetal position. That's what that is.
Okay, Yamcha, calm down.
Yeah. Another one is Coffee Shop that Carlos you mentioned earlier. It's a
Coffee
visual
Talk?
novel. Coffee Talk, yes. That Carlos. So you've already played it, correct?
Oh yeah, I 100% of that sucker.
Okay, well that sounds good enough to me. Then I think I'm gonna play that. And the last one that I can't play this because I need one of you to play it is absolutely the Stanley Parable. I have to watch one of you guys play that. I recently watched a member in our community play that, and it holds up. I love that game. So anyway, just for the sake of time, we can revisit the stuff off stream or later or in our various places online. But community, I'm going to ask you guys. I'm going to take a few, probably 4 of our favorite games off of this list and ask you guys what you would like to see first. Because I can play any of these, but I would love to have an audience. So if any of those that we've talked about sound interesting or you'd like to just learn more, please let us know when we go live with this.
Leave us a comment down below. Yeah.
Like and subscribe.
Ooh. Hit that bell. Another feature that Thomas and I have already recorded some stuff for, we're just going through the editing process on and everything, is called a la carte. It is a card game feature. After our talk about Monster Train on the last episode, that was the last episode, wasn't it? We had I kind of come to the conclusion that a lot of these card battlers are fantastic, and we should just do a feature on them. So we'll do stuff like Monster Train. Maybe we'll do some MTG Arena with Nerd Meat, Slay the Spire, Gwent, Griftlands, etc. And if you have any suggestions of other card battlers that we should get into, or card-based video games that we should get into, please DM us or comment on the video. Let us know other ones that we could possibly do for that. We're excited. Card games are a lot of fun, and it's fun to chat out the strategery with a friend. So glad to
I had
do
no
that
idea that genre was going to click with me the way it has.
I would like to suggest Pokemon, the trading card game online. Throw that in there.
Ooh, I got a lot of that.
Yeah, Cam Koenig, you should follow him at the NES Pod on Twitter. He plays Pokemon online, and what I discovered from him is that if you buy a physical Pokemon pack, it has a QR code in it, and that QR code will unlock a pack online. So you could technically get 2 packs if you play physical and online. I just thought that was a nice way to make that physical card shit actually count for something.
Yeah, I think
especially in the age of COVID, you can't really meet up with people to play, so that's an option to play with your friends online.
Yeah,
I think Yu-Gi-Oh did that first because their Game Boy Advance game was the one that I saw use the codes on the bottom of the card in that fashion. But I think you could also do it for Duelist of the Roses for the GameCube, which was a fantastic game, and it's like a cult classic almost. If you haven't played
I played the shit out of that. I think that's the one I played. It was on GameCube, and it was like just a sweet ass card battler. I still didn't fully understand what was going on. I remember when I played that, but it was like, oh, I know this one evolves or whatever it is. Like if I put these 2 cards together, it makes something really cool.
It's really good. But the sequel to that, Forbidden King, I don't know what it's called.
Oh,
that's how unimportant it is.
Maybe I don't know.
I think it's Call of the Forbidden. I think. No, sorry, Sea of the Deep.
I can't remember if the one I played was on PlayStation 1 or if it was on GameCube, but
honestly, I think Duelist of the Roses was on PS2. Don't play the other one.
Got it. Noted.
Man, I hope somebody's got to tell us. Hey, because of this podcast, I decided to pick up one of the 95 games that you guys mentioned. If somebody's looking for an indie, this is the move.
And one of those card games that I forgot to put on there that we'll definitely do one for is called Signs of the Sojourner, which is a card game where you're learning language or playing cards to like have conversations with people. It sounds super fascinating. I've heard really, really, really good things about it. So yeah, that'll be another one we do for that.
Awesome.
Carlos, you want to talk about some of this Patreon stuff?
Yeah. As of right now, we're really getting into the behind-the-scenes planning of it, but we want to have some specific early access available to our patrons. We do have a patron right now. I'm going to go ahead and shout him out. Ya boy. At least on Patreon, his name is Ya boy. He is our very first legendary patron for 2 months running. So we figured we should probably put some good content out there for specifically our patrons.
For your boy!
Yeah, boy.
your boy.
With 3 eyes. Get it right. Don't get it twisted.
That's right. So we'll be putting out some more content specifically to Patreon, exclusive most likely in a timed fashion. And you can find our Patreon at patreon.com/partyinvite. Any of that content that we'll add there will be like behind the scenes or early access pilots to some of our new content. Like we recorded and recently gave our patron the pilot of our Party Invite Fight Club, which you guys will be hearing about soon. You might see it in a little ways down the road, but it went live for our Patreon a few days ago. We do have specifically this one that we called Fight Club is turning into something else, but what it really is a 30-minute debate where each member has 3 uninterrupted minutes on a topic, and then that's followed by fast-paced 2 minutes of debate from everybody else. It's a whole lot of fun. It's very different from some of our other stuff that we've done.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the potential of another piece of content late to the party, which would be more of a long play of an older title, probably something that you might have seen a few times elsewhere, but just to get the personalities and how we enjoy our games. Some classics like Knights of the Old Republic. I could
It's
replay
stuff that
that
we
a million
missed, that
times.
we're late to the party
Yeah.
too.
That's right.
Like
and
the kind of
this
games
stuff,
that make you go like, you haven't played this yet? What do you think?
Right.
yeah,
Right.
right.
So
Like,
do
just
us a
can't
defensive.
believe it.
No.
Or, if it really makes me wish that we had the means to like stream from a Game Boy or a 3DS or something like that. Man,
Yeah.
that would be the best. But yeah, just look forward to anything new coming from our Patreon. We will have public posts, but then we'll also have private posts specifically for patrons. So be on the lookout for that. If you'd like to join, we have multiple tiers starting with $1, $5, or $10. So we've got options for you, and just check out our Patreon to see what kind of content you'll be getting by joining.
For your boy!
For your boy.
Yeah, boy.
We're catching up on all the shout-outs since it's been a few days.
Right. Thomas, you want to hit us with that community spotlight for this week?
I sure do. So our community spotlight, let me find this here, is Mortis Thesaurus. He is Jason Lee from our Facebook community Discord. He is the main reason that we've really picked up steam on Hitman, because he's been playing through Hitman 1 and 2 leading up to 3 over the past several weeks. And I got to tell you, he cracks me up because one of the questions on here, let me just skip ahead. We have a question that is, do you stealth or go loud? Like stealthy or loud is the question. Let's see what his answer was. Let me put it this way. In the Hitman games, I sometimes just kill everyone on the entire map. I'm not the best at stealth. Haha. I'm definitely a Guns Ablazing type. And I will tell you, can confirm, he is a Guns Ablazing type.
0 stars when he gets out of the mission. Is that how it normally works out?
Oh,
or
yeah.
1 star?
No
So what will
credit.
happen is, so Lizzie and I both watch him all the time. Like most of the time that he's on, we've got him up on one of our screens. And when everything's quiet, you know that he hasn't been caught yet. but as soon as the shooting starts, you're like, well, there goes the level.
Yep.
He's dropping everybody. But it cracks me up. So he's a whole lot of fun to watch. So he's Mortis the Saurus. And you can check the show notes to see how to spell that. But let's see. I'm going to go through some of these. So what is your earliest gaming memory? He says, my actual earliest gaming memory is probably on my 5th birthday. In 1986, we went to Aladdin's Castle, and I remember playing the Pac-Man platformer, which I believe was called Pac-Land. I personally, Thomas, I did not know that there was a Pac-Man platformer, so that is news to me. Of course, I was born in 91, so that could have been...
That might be it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an homage to it in the Smash Bros. Series. There's a stage based on it.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's what that is? I know exactly what you're talking about then. Okay. What is your first console? He says, legend has it, according to my mom, that we were at a neighbor's house back when I was a wee little lad of 3. Sat down with the neighbor kid and watched him play Donkey Kong on the Atari 2600. Then he handed me the controller and let me play. And my mom saw how much I enjoyed it, but that was back in 1984, which is when they got their own Atari 2600 console. I'm paraphrasing here a little bit.
Nice.
So yeah, let's see. What are your top 5 all-time favorite games? Well, he listed 7, so let me give you 7. He says Castlevania franchise, Fallout franchise, Duke Nukem 3D, Fire Emblem series,
Yeah.
Legend of Zelda,
Okay.
Diablo series, and Horizon Zero Dawn.
Mm.
So we can hang.
Interesting.
Okay.
Duke Nukem is so random.
Yeah, it's pretty random in there, but I'll take it.
He's a man of taste.
A man of culture, indeed.
Do you have a favorite video game soundtrack? He says the Castlevania and Mega Man soundtracks will always be timeless classics. Big
Good
fan of Duke
choices.
Nukem as well.
He
Well.
loves Duke Nukem, apparently.
Hey, honestly, the side-scrolling Duke Nukems, yes, they were fantastic.
I don't even
They were.
know this.
We'll have to have him on the
We're
show.
just old,
Fight this out.
obviously.
No.
If you could wish for one remake, remaster, or re-release that everyone could play, what could it be? He says Parasite Eve. It's time for that one to make a
Yes.
comeback. Trap Gunner would be awesome to see in today's gaming environment, which is basically a more T-rated version of Bomberman. And some other ones. So, yeah, like man, I love that question because the answer to that question could be anything.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Parasite Eve, but I appreciate that. So let's skip to these little zippier ones. Mouse and keyboard or controller. He says both, depending on the game. The mid-90s turned me into a PC gamer, so I prefer mouse and keyboard for first-person shooters and RTSs, but I go with a controller for action RPGs. So when he's playing Hitman, he's definitely popping off those shots with mouse and keyboard. You got to be precise. You're an assassin, you know?
Right.
A very stealthy assassin.
Right. What difficulty do you play on? For the most part, normal, especially for action RPGs. I've been playing, let's see, but if I'm playing games that I've been playing for a while, like Killing Floor or Left 4 Dead 2, I'll put it on the hardest setting. Side stories or main quest, main story all the way. I try not to get sidetracked, and you know what? That also lines up for Hitman. He beelines it. He beelines it.
He just
Main
like
story all the
walks
way
up to
around.
the red person and just starts firing at them.
Literally, that's what he does. He shared a
That's the
really
plan.
funny clip. He shared it on our Facebook group that is of him accidentally poisoning the wrong person in front of his target. And he sat there and he's like, hatchet, attack! In a room full of people, threw a hatchet at somebody and just dipped. Took off. He says, I'm not a completionist. I just want to enjoy the game and the game's story. And then, like I said, going loud or stealthy, well, sometimes he kills the entire map. What can you do?
Right.
And then the last one I've got here is damage, tank, or healer. I don't think this is a surprise. He's a DPS main.
Yeah, sounds like it.
DPS
Makes sense.
I love to take my enemies down fast. Never been a magic wielder or healer or anything. He's a barbarian or rogue type. So Mortis Smash is what I'm getting from this.
Yes.
But yeah, that's Mortis Thesaurus. I really like these questions. And he wrote us some more, and I'm going to publish the whole thing on Monday when this goes live. So look forward to that. But yeah, that's Mortis Thesaurus. You should follow him on Twitch. He is really active in our Facebook. He's got a Discord server. he's been a joy to have around. So
Nice.
very
nice.
support.
Thank you, Mortis. Devi, you want to let everybody know where they can follow us at?
Yeah. So as always, please visit our link tree at linktr.ee/partyinvite. And it will tell you all the things that you need to know about where to find us. So that'll be on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And no, we don't have a Snapchat yet, but is that a venture worth exploring? I wonder.
Nah.
We shall see.
Probably not.
I mean, maybe that's because I don't know. It's probably just gonna be me and my cat anyway.
All
Get
right.
on it. The clock's talking.
Uh-oh.
Cats get follows. I'm just saying.
They do. All right, y'all. That's going to do it for us for this episode. We will catch y'all. That's going to do it for us for this episode. We will catch you next time.
Bye.
See ya.